Hello, I'm Nancy Mara, Director of Field Experiences for the Phyllis J. Washington College of Education and Human Sciences at the University of Montana. Thank you so much for working with one of our candidates this semester. As you can imagine, student teaching is an anxious time, but with 3 people on the candidate's team, the cooperating teacher, the university supervisor, and the candidate, it soon becomes apparent that it's a team that's all striving towards the same goal, to ensure professional development and success for that candidate, and to also make sure that the student learning in the classroom is enhanced. Team members meet frequently to provide analytical feedback to work towards that professional growth. So obviously, being a mentor is both an honor and a responsibility. With this in mind, it is our goal at the college to try to ensure that you have as many resources and tools that you need to fulfill that role successfully. With that in mind, that's the reason why you're receiving this video today, as you may be nearing midterm, and this is a great time to talk about assessments at midterm. Generally, by midterm, the university supervisor has performed 3 formal observations, and so the candidate has received some of these observation forms. This is a great way to discuss improvement areas and things that are strengths as we go along. If the duration is not a 16-week placement, you can check the student teaching handbook to see how many formal observations the supervisor is to make. So by midterm then, it's great for the 3 members of the team to convene back together again to discuss the midterm. What works really well is for each member individually to complete the midterm prior to the conference. This too can be found in the student teaching handbook. The reason for that is that's a great time to make sure that everybody understands the rating and everyone's of the same understanding of the progress that this candidate is making. So you'll note on the midterm assessment that it uses a rating scale of 4, 3, 2, 1, 0, and NA. 4 exemplary, 3 highly competent, 2 competent, 1 minimally competent, 0 unacceptable, and then NA for not applicable. It's really important that everyone is of the same understanding. So if somebody's scoring a 4 while somebody else marks an area at a 2, that might be a good time to really talk that through, because that will help make sure there's no unpleasant surprises when it comes time to get the letter grade at the end of the semester. These assessment predictors, which are also found in the handbook, are a great way to look at what does a 4 mean, what does a 3 mean, and so forth. It is really important when you are scoring the progress of this candidate that you remember that this is a pre-service teacher, and that this person should not be compared to someone who's been in the field for several years. It's also important to remember that you are rating this person for the midterm. Where does he or she stand at this point of the semester? Open and honest communication is really key at this point. The candidate receives a copy of the midterm, and then we'll go back and write a reflective essay about what was heard at the conference as far as strengths and areas for improvement. That's included in the professional development portfolio that will be submitted to the academic advisor at the end of the semester. The only time the Office of Field Experiences requires a midterm report be sent to our office is in the cases of out-of-state placements, or also if there is a case where a student is not making satisfactory progress. At midterm then, the candidate does become eligible for substitute teaching if that's a possibility in your district. So by following our policies in the handbook that are set by the Montana Office of Public Instruction, as well as your district policies, it is possible for the candidate to substitute, but only in the cooperating teacher's classroom. If it's a 16-week placement, we ask that that's not any more than 5 days. If it's a lesser placement than that, 12 weeks or 10 weeks, just refer back to that student teaching handbook and it will let you know what the requirements are there. As mentors, you make a vital contribution to this person's professional development, and as such, you will affect hundreds of students in the future. We here at the college would like to thank you so much for stepping into that mentor role. Happy midterm.